We're going to learn all about Soundtraxx's new Blunami decoders on Ron's Trains and Things right now. Hi, I'm Ron of Ron's Trains and Things, and a few weeks ago I attended the NMRA National Convention and Train Show in Dallas, Texas, and while I was there I caught up with my friend George Bogatuk of Soundtraxx Decoders, and he was telling me about Soundtraxx's newest technology, which is called the Blunami, and I got a great description from him about what Blunami is all about on camera, and I'm going to share it with you today. Now, this is extremely exciting new technology in the advancement of DCC, sound, and decoders, and I know it's going to ultimately make a huge difference for decoders for every scale and across the spectrum of DCC. So you're going to want to pay attention to what this has to offer. But enough from me, let's go talk to George and hear what he has to say. This video is brought to you by Midwest Model Railroad. Now with 15,000 square feet and one-day shipping, they truly are your one-stop model railroad shop. MidwestModelRR.com. Link in the description. Hey everybody, we are here at the NMRA National Convention and Train Show, and I'm talking to George Bogatuk. Now, we visited with George about Soundtraxx decoders in an episode, a year or so ago. And George, you told us a lot about the various functions, lighting, sound, all the things you can do with Soundtraxx decoders. And by the way, we will link that video in a card at the end of this one. If you haven't seen it, got any questions about Soundtraxx, it's a good place to start. But today, George, I want to hear about the new thing from Soundtraxx, which is the Blunami.
That is
Sounds
correct.
like pretty exciting technology. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it, about what's new about the Blunami?
Sure. So the Blunami is a merge of the word Bluetooth and Tsunami. Tsunami was our flagship product for many years. Now we're on Tsunami 2. And so basically what you're getting with Blunami is you're getting a Tsunami 2 with the Bluetooth chip on it. And the Bluetooth chip allows you to wirelessly control the decoder. You can operate your locomotive using your smart device, whether it be an iPhone, iPad, and through a fortunate mistake at this moment in time, the beta version of the Android version is available on the Google Play Store. So just know it is beta. There is still some more modifications coming to it. But for the most part right now, that version's working really, really well. But what this does is this is basically a DCC decoder. So you put it on the track, you connect to your DCC system, you run it just like every other decoder that you've had. But now you have the added benefit of the Bluetooth. And the Bluetooth is a smart control that's using Bluetooth low energy. So you have a much longer range than, say, your typical headphones of about 30 feet. You actually have a range of, we advertise up to 100 feet, but if you check out the Soundtraxx YouTube video on Blunami range, you'll actually see we go about 145 feet before we lose connection. Now, here in my hand, I have a Bluetooth version of the app, so you can kind of see a little bit about what it looks like, but I'm controlling a locomotive off camera right now. But you have all your throttle control, you can run your locomotive, you can blow your horn, ring your bell, and all of that. You have this little side menu that pulls out that I can actually go through and see all of my functions, so I don't need to remember that function 11 turns on the brakes, or I have to remember that, like say for example, the grade crossing is function 9. It's all written right there for me, so everything's laid out in nice, easy terms. This is the first 14 functions. Then I just click that at the top here and I can go to the other 14 functions. And you'll notice down here my lighting effects, you'll see that it says class lights, rear class lights. You can rename those functions. So the FX3 light, you don't have to remember is the FX3 light turned on and off by the function 24 button. You just label it and you're good to go. That way you can spend more time enjoying your train rather than trying to remember numbers and functions and things like that. But wait, there's more.
Oh, great.
When it comes to setup of your Blunami, there's a little gear down here on the bottom. And this takes you into a full interactive menu where it makes you, or allows you to make all of your adjustments. So I can go in here to sound settings, main sounds, and you'll look, I can go through here and make changes to all of the sound effects. I can select different sound effects. So for example here, the horn listed right here says it's a Leslie RS3L, but if I want to change that, I simply click on it and there's a menu of all the list of all the different air horns that are selectable in the decoder. I don't need to remember CV number 120 has to equal a value of 25 to get whatever air horn. I can just look at the list and say I want to pick this. Well, there's our RS3L. Say I want to pick the A125. Well, it's right there, and I just click it. Then I can click this icon next to it to test it, so I can get a sample of it. If I want to adjust the volume levels, everything's right there in the app. And it's nice and easy to use. So we hit our back button. You got light settings. I can go in and make all my light adjustments. I go into speed settings. If I want to adjust my custom speed table, there we go. I can adjust my entire speed table. Now, if I do want to still program CVs, I can push CVs. Here's my CV number, so I can go type it in. I can read all my CVs in a matter of seconds, and everything's done through the app. And what's really cool about this is if I want to consist locomotives, using the app is very quick and easy. And so I've done a couple of videos on our Soundtraxx YouTube video talking about consisting locomotives, so be sure to check that out. Now, here at the National Train Show, we are announcing a new addition to the Blunami family, and that is our new Blunami Blue P&P 8. Now, I know you're primarily an N-scale guy, and a lot of your viewers are N-scale, but the P&P 8 is great for HO diesels. It's a drop-in replacement for the motherboard, but I have had some N-scalers tell me they've been able to fit this in a boxcar and travel around behind it. They mount it at a slight angle, and it'll fit in there. And this gives you 8 lighting functions. It gives you up to 2 amps of stall current, but it does have the Bluetooth chip on it. So now you can take advantage of the Blunami in a board format. Now we are working on more board formats coming down the line. I don't know how fast we'll get to the N-scale ones, because as you can see here, the Bluetooth chip is right there. It's about the size of my pinky nail. And so it takes up a lot of real estate. So these small decoders that are already pretty jam-packed with parts do need a little bit more space. So we're looking at different ways to try to get a better Bluetooth chip or a smaller one that will be able to get better into N-scale, because I know the N-scaler guys are really loving this. Yeah. Because what really takes advantage of the Blunami is the fact that now all you need is track power or power of some source.
Right, I was just thinking. So basically you're doing your programming and you're running your trains from the mobile app and literally just providing power from the
correct.
DCC system.
So once you connect to the app and you're on your DCC system, it's just using the track for power, right. Which as it's off camera right now, but this layout over here that we have displayed on our trade show booth, actually the whole layout is over there being powered by a DC power source for large scale. Wow. It's a 10 amp DC power supply from USA Trains. But if it's able to be used with DC track power, guess what else? Onboard battery.
There you go.
I have a locomotive over here with Lego, and the Lego locomotive actually has 6 AA batteries in it. Now, it's dead right now because I have to go change them out, but I got the rechargeable one, so I'm not out any money. But I do need to sit over there and change it out, but it does run on battery. So as long as you've got anywhere between 10 to 14 volts DC power applied, the Blunami will run. You'll be able to run anything you want and make all your adjustment selections. And let me tell you, it's really changed the way you run your trains.
Yeah, I believe that. It seems like the app is very intuitive.
Yep.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to be able to navigate your way around.
Yep.
And I think this is extremely exciting in its form now, and I'm extremely excited about what this means as we just continue to go forward and this technology continues to develop, and as it continues to miniaturize as an N-scaler. So that's very, very exciting.
We are certainly looking at the N-scaler. I will say we have an in-house N-scaler ourselves, Mr. Norman, our tech support guy. He's an N-scale modeler too, so he's certainly pushing for a Blunami and N-scale. So you guys have somebody on the inside that's really working for it.
Fantastic.
So we are working that way.
Well, listen, George, thank you so much for giving us a little introduction to the Blunami. We're excited about the product, and we're also excited to see how it continues to develop, and we look forward to talking to you again as it does. So
thank
you very much.
Thanks for watching.
Well, if you'd like to learn more about Soundtraxx decoders or other model railroad content, check out the links on your screen, and be sure and join me on Tuesdays as I bring you even more great model railroad videos, and I'll see you on the next video. 10, Lizzie?